All right, welcome into episode 24 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele, and I have a very special guest joining me today, fresh off the Press On Fundraiser this past Saturday down at Wolf Trap in Virginia. Carol Hines is here. Carol, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for asking.
Yeah, you were in charge of organizing the Press On fundraiser. I want to hear all about it, but how did you get to be in charge of the whole thing? Are you involved with Press On like in your free time, or how's that work with you?
Well, I haven't been. I've attended a few fundraisers and donated to like online raffles. It kind of started with just wanting to get together. Like usually when there's a multi-night run, like the Avett fans meet up and do, like a dinner
Sure.
or
Yeah.
just drinks or whatever. Um, and so one of my friends had mentioned like trying to maybe put a show together at Jam and Java. So we had reserved a spot for them. I reached out to Paleface. We noticed they were in Maryland the night before for a show. So like the timing just happened to work out. Um, and then I just thought, well, we're together. We're halfway through the year. There were some prizes left from the New Year's Eve fundraiser. I helped with that a little bit. Um, so let's put it together. Let's do a fundraiser. And then
And they put you in charge of the whole thing.
yeah, I kind of ended up doing most of it. It didn't feel like a lot of work. It was fun. I had a lot of people reach out and offer donations. Originally I thought, well, this would be like super small. Maybe we'll raise $1,000 to $2,000. It turned out much larger than
Yeah,
I
how
anticipated.
much this, let's do like a drum roll or something. How much did this event bring in for the Press On Fund?
$10,200.
That's crazy. That's
It's
awesome.
insane.
So
Yeah.
was that people could donate online or was it just in person or
It was
I
just in person. No,
really?
I didn't want it to be any amount of work for anyone.
Yeah.
Um, and it's kind of hard, like doing the online, it's time consuming and then having to make sure you ship the right items to the right people. I just wanted it to be really easy, really simple, like a fun get together. So come show up, you know,
Explain
bid
the
on a
whole thing
few.
to me. Like how did it work? What there was items like up for auction? Is that it?
Yeah, so we did, we had a few silent auction items, like a couple of posters. I worked with Emily with the fan club.
Sure.
She was amazing. She got us an uncut and had the whole band sign it and got that to me Saturday night. Um, Mark, I really don't want to mess up his last name. I think it's Fellier or Feller. He reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna donate some guitars, like, and see if I can get the band to sign them. Do you want them?" I'm
Nice.
like, "Absolutely." So he sent two guitars to the band and they signed them and gave them to him
Wow.
like Saturday or Friday night, and he brought them Saturday, and that was just amazing. We had some sticker packs, like some fan made patches, necklaces,
And
like
that stuff's
just all
all
kinds of
awesome.
fun things.
That's really cool. Now, that's amazing that you raised that much money, but what I mean, what did the guitars bring in? Like just the sign they were signed by the whole band, right? I saw pictures of them.
Yeah, so one guitar was a silent auction. It went for $3,100.
Wow.
And then the other one we put into the raffle. So we had about 28 prizes we sold raffle tickets. And I know we made at least $1,200 on raffle tickets for that. We didn't get a chance to count all the tickets before they were trashed. Um, but we at least made 1,200 minimum
That's
off of that.
great.
So a good, like, 4,300 at least off the guitars.
That's one thing about the Avett Brothers and the fan base is the Avett Brothers, the band themselves are extremely giving, and they it seems
Mhm.
like they love to do stuff like this to help people out. I think probably a lot of bands are like that, but for to me, it seems different with the Avets. I don't know. It's I always talk about this on the show, like the way they were raised. They're just so caring. Talk about that a little bit and how the fans are the same way. So obviously they show up and they're going to give to a fund like this. So I want to talk more about the Press On Fund too and hear more about it. But go on.
So I have been on the receiving end. It's very humbling. Um, in 2020, my youngest had appendicitis and his appendix actually ruptured. We
Oh
almost
my
lost him.
gosh. Oh my
Yeah, so
gosh.
he went through 3 surgeries. He had a blood transfusion. We were in the hospital 3 weeks.
Oh,
Um, and the
I can't
fans,
even
they just,
imagine that.
yeah, it was terrible. But um, no expectations. Like I had no idea. There were donations made, gift cards bought for us to eat at restaurants, money sent to help us with some of the medical bills. Like, and people I'd never met. Like it
Yeah,
was
right.
just, it blew me away. And then, like I met Bob in 2017, I think at Merle Fest, and we talked a little about Hallie and my oldest, about 18 months before that, had been through a situation where he was in the hospital. We almost lost him. We stayed
Oh
at Ronald McDonald House. So Bob and I
God.
spent quite a bit of time like talking about that experience and just how great these organizations are to help and support families to get through some of these tough times. And he was just so compassionate and so kind and caring. And then he's like, I feel like I need to give you a hug. Like it was just the nicest thing, like just the most genuine person I think I've ever talked to.
So you're just like friends with Bob now and his wife, or
I mean, not I've met Melanie once. I don't think
yeah?
she could tell you who I am, but
Oh, you're supposed to say yes. Of course, he's my best friend in the whole wide world.
you know what? It'd be great to be friends with them. Like I would, support them in all the ways. Like they are just very kind, genuine people. And I love like the work that they're doing.
Yeah, they raise a lot of money for uh childhood cancer research and stuff because of their daughter. Tell me about what the Press On Fund is all about. And I know they do St. Jude stuff too a lot, but tell me about Press On. I want to hear more about it because I don't know how, but I'm not really familiar with what they've done over the years.
Yeah, so they are working for treatments for children, like
Mhm.
cancer treatments that, from my understanding, that are non-toxic treatments. So there's been a lot of like research and progress made for adulthood cancer
Mhm.
treatments, but not so much for childhood. So my
Hmm.
understanding, the organization, they research, they find like experimental treatments that are supposed to be better for the patients. And from what I understand, the treatments are free to the families. So similar, like they went to St. Jude with Hallie.
Right.
So it's kind of a similar type process. I hope I'm not like speaking wrong, but I've done a little bit of reading and research on it. And so that's my understanding. Like they're trying to help other families with kids
So the money they
find better
raise,
treatments.
the money they raise just goes to take care of the kids and so families don't have to pay for this stuff and take that
Correct.
burden on.
And
Wow.
yes, to help pay for research to find those alternative treatments as
Yeah,
well.
that
So
that's great. That's really amazing work. And you guys raised a lot of money to help that
it
out
was
just
insane. We
just
sold
with one
93
little event.
tickets.
That's
So
great.
93 tickets sold. And I was figuring it out. I'm like, that's over $1,000 a person that,
Wow.
if you break it down by person that was donated that day.
Avid fans are the best. That's that's all
This is
I can say.
amazing.
Amazing. Tell me about Paleface and Mo. They are former guests on my show, so I want to talk about them a little bit too. I know Mo posted a ton over the last couple weeks about this whole event, and she was ecstatic about it, and very thankful and all this. They're awesome people. That I
They really are.
I had them on my show, and it was a blast. I got to sing with Paleface. Are you kidding me? But tell me about the whole situation with them there and that show that they put on.
Yeah, so I met Mo and Paleface at a previous show. I've seen them a few times, through the Avetts. They played the New Year's Eve fundraiser
Sure.
that was held for Press On with David Childers. So I had messaged her to see about their schedule. She said they were available. I'm from Greenville, North Carolina. So they played a show here a few months ago, and I went and we talked a little bit about logistics of it. And she was just so excited.
Yeah.
Um, she put together a flyer for me to help
Oh, that's cool.
spread the word. Like she was really grateful to help do it. They donated a painting, Paleface paints on the drum head. So they donated a really cool painting with Hope on it that we sold at the silent auction as well to raise money. She talked to me afterwards, like they were just so glad. Bob showed up and he had a moment to speak at the fundraiser,
I
and
actually
he was
saw a
able to
video of that. I saw
thank
that. That
them.
so thankful
Yeah.
and it was awesome to see.
Yeah. So they are fun. Paleface was funny. He played, of course, Dancing Days.
Right.
He's like, I never get tired of people coming up to me and telling me they love, they love this cover song that I do with the Avett Brothers, not even realizing like it's his song
Right.
he did with them. But yeah, he's fun. It's a lot of fun to see them play.
They worked so hard. Like that last album they put out, they did everything themselves, including the press and just every bit of it was them. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yes.
I
They
love
set
that.
up their own merch stand. They
Yeah,
take,
yeah.
they sell their merch, they take it down. Like they are so involved in every aspect of it.
So humble and so talented, and they're awesome. So underrated too, I think would be a good way to say it. Paleface has been around a long time, and
Yeah.
him and Beck started together, and I just think he's so underrated and so talented. Anyway, that's really cool that they did that and helped raise all that money and that good stuff. All right, I sensed your North Carolina accent there, and I figured that's where you were from.
That
Uh,
is where I'm from.
how did you discover the Avett Brothers? When did it happen? When was that moment of, oh my God, this is like nothing I've ever seen before?
So it was around 2010. A coworker had went to a show and she came back and was telling me all about it. So I looked up and listened to a few songs. I'm Loving You had just been released. So of course, I'm Loving You and Kick Drum Heart, first two songs I listened to. So for my birthday that year, I told my sister, like, I want some albums. I want some of their albums. I want to listen to their music. So she bought me that album and then Live Volume 3 were the first two albums I own. So if
Okay.
anyone ever asks me like my favorite album, it's gonna be I'm Loving You because it's the one that like truly hooked
Right?
me.
Sure.
Um in 2013, I went to my first show, New Year's Eve
That's a good
in
one to go
Charlotte.
to.
The big like disco ball dropped through the
Oh,
stage.
it's that show. Okay.
That was my very first show. Yes.
How close? I've always wanted to ask someone this. I didn't know anyone that had been at that show. How close did that come to hitting someone?
Well, it was Shovels and Rope had just finished their set and they were doing the switch out. So luckily neither band was on
Oh
stage.
my gosh.
But we were up like in the upper level.
Yeah.
So I didn't see like exactly how close, but you could see pictures of the ball like sitting in the
Oh
stage.
yeah, the whole show. It was
Um,
a big ball too. That could have
yeah,
really
so
hurt
during their
someone.
set, the ball was just in the middle of the stage.
Yikes.
Um,
Well,
but
they are
yeah, that
very
was
lucky
kind
that
of
no one was on stage when that happened.
yeah.
But that's pretty cool
Um,
for your first show.
that was my first show. Yeah. So they came out, and the very first song I ever heard live was Open Ended Life. They opened the show with it, and I was blown away. I'm on it every show. I think I've heard it 3 times live, but I could hear it every show. It was so amazing, and the energy and just so great.
How many
Um,
shows have you been to now, though?
55. Saturday made number
Wow.
55 for me.
Okay. That's 55 more shows than my last guest. Did you? I don't know if you listened to my show ever, but I
I
had.
have. I have.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
have?
listen to
Okay.
your last
I
one.
had
Yeah.
Alex Sossler on, who wrote the theology and the Avett Brothers book, put that
Okay.
together. And he talked about all of this stuff about seeing the band live. And I asked him at the very end how many shows he's been to, and he said, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that. He hadn't been to any yet. So like, oh
Oh
my
wow.
God, we got to get you back on when you went to see him live. So anyway, I thought that was funny. So 55 shows, that's a lot.
55 shows.
But I,
Yeah.
I know so many more people that have seen like twice as many. It blows my mind that people just
Oh
travel
yeah.
all over the place. What's
Like
the
in the
farthest you've gone?
hundreds and
Yeah.
200. Yeah.
What's the farthest you traveled to an Avid show?
Mexico. I got to do
Okay.
Avetts at the beach this
That's
past
awesome.
year. That was a lot of fun.
I would love to be like hit the lottery and just travel and go on the road with them and be a roadie, whatever you want to call it.
I think we
Groupie.
all want that job, right? Like Emily's job is so coveted, but
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh. Yeah. Could you
understand.
imagine that? And she gets paid to do that? That's awesome. But all right. So what else did I want to ask you here? Let's see. How have you gotten to meet the rest of the band, or did you just meet Bob a couple times?
No,
Or
we did meet them. So in 2016, um, there was a news story put out in our local paper saying, the Avett Brothers are doing this meet and greet in Concord. It had to do with like their induction in the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame. And
nice, okay.
I guess the confusion, they weren't there that night. and I guess some of their fans were upset that bought the VIP experience. So to make it right, they decided to do this meet and greet, like in their hometown. Um, but then they opened it up to the public. So I took my youngest daughter, wanted to go so bad. She was 6 at the time.
Wow.
So we went, we drove like 4 hours and we waited in line. I want to say it was 7 hours to see them.
Wow. And they
They
stayed there that
stood,
whole time.
they stayed there the whole time. From what I saw, they left one time to take a break. They spent so much time with people, took pictures, did autographs, talked to everyone. Like it was just, I was like, these guys, like they're famous, like they're, artists, and they are sitting here and treating every single person like they're the only person there in front of them. Like they just took their time. It did not matter.
Well, they're just people. That's the thing about them. They are
Yeah.
just normal people who happen to be famous and really talented at everything they do. But they're just down to earth people, and that's awesome that they do stuff like that. And I think since COVID, that probably hasn't happened as much with them doing meet and greets. I haven't heard of much
No,
of the whole
yeah,
meet and greet thing anymore. It's too bad. Maybe we'll get back to it someday.
yeah, but so that was my first time meeting them, was there. And I don't know, like after that's when I found out about the groups, waiting in line, I met people, started talking to people, and I found out about like Avett Nation and Rejects in the Attic and, some of the other groups, and got invitations for those. And it really kind of took off from there, meeting other fans and people to travel and meet at
And
shows.
people that don't get that whole thing of meeting the fans, like you make friends online. You don't think you're actually going to be friends with these people in real life, but it seems like, I mean, I've met people just at the two measly shows that I've gotten to go to in my life so far, that these people just become like your family. And
They are.
I know like
Yes.
some people have like the exact same interests that I have. They're like, oh man, I wish I met you 20 years ago. We have the same interests. And
Hmm.
it's just a cool thing. And it's really hard to explain to people that don't see it or understand it, that this group really is just a big family. And the Press
It
On
is.
Fundraiser is a great example of that, with all the money that you raise for such an amazing cause. Just people being kind
Hmm.
and caring. All right. So I asked you to pick some music for this episode. Do you have your list in front of you?
I
I
have
have it here
yeah,
if you don't.
I
I got to
do.
find it, but you do have it? Oh, you have it. Okay.
Yeah. I
So
have it in our messages.
you told me, yeah, that's what I'm scrolling back to too right now. You told me that this list wouldn't have happened in like a random conversation, but actually sitting down thinking about it made you create this list that you never would have put together before. I think people seem to have fun when I do this, when they pick the music for the show, just to see what you come up with. But tell me the songs you picked and why you picked them, and we're going to try to get them all into around the interview portion here of the episode.
Okay, so I'll start with my first band that I truly loved and owned every single CD that they've ever put out, was Counting Crows.
Okay, that's a good one.
So Murder of One is off their first album. Um, and I don't know, like something about the end of that song, like Adam singing, "You don't want to waste your life. It's such a shame, shame, shame." Like it really makes you think about like the path you're on, and
Mm-hmm.
are you doing the right things, and like you are the one that has to make the choice to change that. And I have a friend that was in a terrible relationship, and that song like really saved her and like changed her life. And so there's like a little bit of a personal connection with that too, like knowing her story and just connecting with her. So that, yeah,
So that's
that's
a
that
song
one.
with a lot of meaning for you. That's a good
Yes.
choice. All right, what's next?
So Drew Holcomb has a song called Family. It's super fun. He talks about, family, they drive you crazy. Like I just, dancing in the kitchen, singing along, like it's just a really fun, upbeat song. I have 4 kids. They span from ages 9 to 24.
Wow.
Um, they keep me super busy and on my toes all the time. And so I just really relate to that.
That's why we're recording this in your office, right? Because you didn't want to be around all the kids at home
I have no
screaming.
quiet time at home.
So you stayed at work late today, is that it?
Yeah.
Just to get a little quiet time. All right, so another great choice there. What's next?
So Camp, I chose Wonder Bar. It's my favorite song from them. And just, Love and Grace, like, Taylor singing that then, Love and Grace is all you need. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, but Love and Grace.
It's a great song. So that's another good choice. And I know you have some Avett Brothers songs in there too.
I have a few. So Laundry Room is probably my favorite, not like lyrically meaningful song to me,
Mm-hmm.
but Laundry Room is definitely one of my favorite songs. I could hear it every show. It's just the to me it showcases like the musicality of the band. It starts out slow and it's just nice and like go easy going, and then like you have the end, it's like a big party.
Right,
And to see
exactly.
it live and be a part of that, and the disco ball going around and everyone jumping up and down, like it's just gives this energy that no other song they have gives.
Yeah, it's like the whole vibe of the band, like from beginning to end, the types of music you get and the crowd getting into it. That is a great song. Love that song. All right, what's next?
I have Please Pardon Yourself. So I shared a little bit with you about my kids and my oldest, when he was sick. That's one song that I really connected with, that just really helped me during hard times. The day will come, the sun will rise, and we'll be fine. And you have
Great
to hold
lyric.
on to that to keep going.
My gosh, their lyrics are amazing. Their writing,
Yeah.
it's so deep. Like you can sit there and like I just posted We Americans on my Facebook page, and that song, it's another example of just the depth and I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's controversial, empathetic, everything rolled into one, and it's just how they are. It's just what they are, and it's such a perfect song. So sorry to
No, you're
railroad your
you're good.
song, but I just it made me think of that when you said that. So
Yeah.
now what's another one you picked?
All right. So my last Avett Brothers song is Ill With Won't. It's so funny. We heard that earlier, like this weekend in the car. I wish they played it live, but
Yeah,
um, it's just very, I don't know, like I have been in the past caught up in consumerism and want and all these things. And the lyrics, temporary is my time, ain't nothing in this world that's mine
mm-hmm.
except my will to carry on. Like it just makes you pause and think.
It should, right?
Yeah.
It really should. I love that song too. I'm with you all the way on all of these songs so far. You got a couple more too. I hopefully will be able to squeeze them all in.
Okay.
It depends how the interview goes. If it goes all 40 minutes, sometimes it's tough to get them all in, but I think we'll be okay here. What do you got next?
So The Head and the Heart,
Mm-hmm.
another one of my like top, probably in my top three bands. Let's Be Still, really great. Just if you need a moment to yourself, like I might, sit on the beach, listen to it, take that quiet moment. Just a great, great song.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the Head and the Heart too. Another great band. And I see your last one, Sister Hazel.
Sister
Have
Hazel,
you
they're
been a
one of my
fan of
favorite
Sister
90s
Hazel for a long
bands.
time? Yeah, that's
I've
awesome.
seen them several times. They are so fun, but Change Your Mind, again, like the song just talks about, if you don't like your situation, like if you want to be someone else, just stop, like think and change your mind. Like it's all mindset. Like you may not can control the situation around you, but you can control your mindset and the positivity you put into it and how you overcome obstacles. So
Great message, great song choices. I really your style of music, of course, fits with everyone else that's Avett Brothers fans. I think we all kind of like the same kind of music, which is a wide variety of music. But
yeah.
good stuff. I really appreciate you throwing these out here and really putting some thought into it, which is great and some good meaning to the songs for you. Tell me about Wolf Trap. Um, just the venue. I've never been there before. I keep hearing everyone just saying this is the best venue out there to see a show. And they had a 3 night run and you were there all 3 nights. Tell me about it.
It's beautiful. So my first time there was, I want to say it was 2021. It was after COVID. We still had to, show negative test to get in. You had to wear a mask, like it very um heavily like distance from people. Like you
Oh,
sat
okay.
beside people, but you had to wear your mask the whole time.
Right.
So but we went early one day and just walked some of the paths. Like it's a natural park or national park. So the setting is it's just beautiful. um, and then it's really cool. They have like different smaller stages where they,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess throughout the year they put on like smaller shows and productions, not just the main center.
Yeah.
I also noticed they're advertising like Broadway shows now, or maybe it's like musical Broadway musical things, maybe not a
Yeah.
full show, but it looks like they have like a wide variety of things. But my friends that I went with, they live closer. They're like in the Baltimore area.
Hmm.
So they love it. They're like, it's the best. You have to come. So I went. We did 2 nights. Super fun. Um, they have a really nice lawn area. You can go in and actually like take a picnic with you. Like
Oh,
they
that's
let
cool.
you bring in food and drinks and
And drinks. Wow, that's like
yeah, like you
unlike
can bring
anywhere
in a
else.
cooler. Yeah,
Wow.
you can actually bring in a cooler full of food and drinks. Like they don't care. They also have a restaurant there where they will pack picnics. So you can pay for your picnic and take it
Really?
on the lawn and eat it with you.
That's cool.
That's unlike any venue like I've ever
Yeah, I've never heard
been
anything like
to. So
that.
it's like very family friendly too. Down in the seats, there is a very small pit. It's only 3 rows,
Oh boy.
a seated
Wow.
pit.
Mm.
And then there's the orchestra seating. And then there's like a balcony as well, up higher that you can sit in. So there's multiple levels of seats.
So
And
is
then
it like an
it's
amphitheater or
kind of like an amphitheater, but it's in like a national park.
that's cool. That's on my
Very
bucket
natural
list to get
setting.
there. And I need to see the Avett Brothers there. That's on the old bucket list. Someday I'll get there. It's relatively
Yeah.
close to me. It's not like it's in Red Rocks. It's hard to get out for me at least to just fly to Colorado. At least that's within driving distance down to Virginia. But
Yeah.
sounds like a great time. Um,
And I read like an article, I guess Seth was interviewed before the shows and said that they consider it like the Red Rocks of the East.
oh,
So
cool. Yeah,
apparently
I think
like
I've
they
heard him say
really
that. Yeah.
love the venue too. I would definitely go back. Like if it was a yearly thing, I would go every year. And there's so much to do, like because it's seated. If you have seats, like during the day, it's so close. So one day we went to like the Great Falls National Park. Another day we went to the National Harbor. So you can still kind of do touristy things like visiting
Yeah,
local places.
you don't have to rush in to get a good spot because it's all assigned seats, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that experience. Thank you for coming on the show. Do you want to say anything about Press On? Like, can people just donate anytime? I assume they can, right?
Yes. So you can go to the pressonfund.org anytime you can make a donation. I actually spoke to the lady today. It's their donations go through it's called the Community Foundation. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a foundation that manages funds for smaller organizations. And I spoke to the lady there today. My company does like a gift match program. So we were talking about like how to get some of my funds gift matched from this fundraiser, and she was asking if we were with the Crawford family. She's like, we see a lot of donations come through that say in honor of Hallie Crawford. And I was like, that's just like so cool that she automatically knew and like put that together. So
That is.
definitely if you make one, make sure to give Hallie that shout out,
That's cool.
and
And you just
lots
said,
of
no,
love to
that's
them.
just my best friend. That's
Yeah.
Bob's my best friend. Anyway, thank you. That's great. I hope folks can go on and donate more. I know they will. They keep doing it, and we'll always, take part in stuff like that just to help out
And we'll
childhood
keep the
cancer.
fundraisers going. I
Yeah,
know,
and
every New Year's Eve there's a fundraiser.
right.
So there's definitely that to look forward to.
All right. Well, Carol, thank you so much for your time. You see, nothing to be nervous about at all. That was easy. All right. Thank you for coming on, and we'll talk again sometime. Okay. I really
All right.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Todd.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.